All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live, episode 003. I have a new guest here, and Ozzy's always here, of course. Introduce yourself, Martin.
Hi everybody, I'm Martin. I got into Bitcoin a little while ago, back in January, and just been educating myself on everything about the blockchain and Bitcoin. That has that we can see that you know can help us. I just want to learn about it, get in on it, and tell the people watch out for all this scams that are going on, and educate some other people.
Okay. And then there's his, everyone knows Ozzy, but go ahead and introduce yourself, Ozzy.
What's up, guys? Thanks for coming back. How you doing?
And of course, everybody knows me. I'm James Bond. So the troll of the YouTube internet. Uh, you know. Anyways, uh, Martin, I'm gonna ask you how you. Okay, obviously you got into January. You got involved in January. I saw your last video. You did a certification, uh, becoming a
Right.
Bitcoin expert. Please explain how that happened.
Yeah, so it's a certification for be a Bitcoin professional. I was, surfing YouTube like everybody else does, obviously, and heard something about the cryptocurrency consortium. So I went over to their website and checked it out. It's got a couple people that, pretty much, certified people on Bitcoin. It's got Andreas Antonopoulos on it. Uh, what's his name? Vitalik from Ethereum on there and stuff. They also had a link to Udemy, so I went over there, checked out a whole bunch of their stuff, and started learning about it. And then wanted to see if I can pass the test, and took it. It's a 75 question multiple choice test, and it's timed. You get 20 minutes. Um, so went over there and took the test and passed. And kind of makes you feel better, I guess. And I guess something that I can, you know, say that I have some experience in. So when people come to my site, they can know that I kind of know a little bit of what I'm talking about.
Can you give us an example of some of the questions that was on the test?
Right. One of the questions was dealing with wallets. Which one is the safest? And they gave you a couple of options. They got the web wallets. They got the wallets that are on your PC, and then they had paper wallets. And obviously, paper wallets are the most secured way to carry your Bitcoin. So that was the answer to that question.
Okay. Was there another one? I mean, what was the most difficult one that you thought was on the test?
Oh man, there was a couple of them that were pretty difficult. They're all really escaping me right now, but
All right.
um,
No, that's all right. That's all right. Could you? You're out in was it Indiana,
yes, Richmond, Indiana.
right? And you told us that you got involved around January. You bought your first Bitcoin maybe around 900,
Yeah, it was just shy of the $1,000 mark.
shy of 1,000. So tell us like who you talk with, and um, because in your videos you say that you're in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
So tell us who you've been telling about Bitcoin. Obviously, you want to share it because you're making videos about it.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I started making videos, just to get my voice out there and my opinion. But around here, I get to pretty much talk to my cousin. Uh, I got him involved. I mean, I've talked to my family members, and most of them just don't care. Went and talked to my brother, and just so happens that at the same time that I found out, he found out. So that was pretty cool.
What does your family like think? I know you told me your wife doesn't care, but
Yeah.
when you approach your friends and family, like what kind of reaction do you get? I'm just curious because I actually don't tell anybody.
Oh, well, mainly when I start talking about it, it's either they look the other way or they give me that, oh god, here we go again, kind of, don't understand what the hell he's talking about, but he likes it, so whatever. Let's pretend to pay attention.
Okay. So what drew you into this whole thing? Like what was the draw for you? Was it like you're trying to make some money, interesting technology?
Um, with like, other than me trying to educate myself and look for some way to promote myself some later time to make money later. But I got into this because I saw the technology um, that could solve a lot of our problems that's going on, especially with like our monetary system and our political system, and with all the fraud and shady shit that goes on with them. This will be able to expose some of that.
All right. Let me go to Ozzy real quick, and let me ask Ozzy, like, do you tell any of your friends and family, and if you do, what do they say about Bitcoin or Litecoin or cryptocurrency?
Um, I come from I come from a Middle Eastern background, and I'm one of the beginners. Well, like I've been here 40 years, so most of the people around me have been here that long, but they came older, so they're not that up to date with technology. So they have a rough time understanding the whole concept. To them, the dollar is king. Uh, but believe it or not, I get a lot of like, can you tell us more? Can you explain it more? How can we get into it? And yesterday, my cousin downloaded a wallet and started with Litecoin. Now he wants to start mining. So it's if you take the time, if I mean, I bet I have it. If you take the time to break it down for them, they get excited and they want to learn more, and they don't mind investing a little bit to start.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Uh, my problem is when I was growing up, I was like the dumb one in the family, right? So everyone's like, "Oh, here's the dumb one," you know. And so when I grew up, no matter what I did, no matter how much money I made, they never believed anything I said. It was crazy. And so when I started telling them that I trade, cryptocurrencies, they don't believe anything. And here's the weird part: it's not just my family when it comes to cryptocurrencies. It comes to like it's everybody else. If I ever talked about it, I tried talking about it with some other people, and I tell them what I do. They literally do not believe because I trade peer to peer, and that's what I've kind of gone that way. And when I tell them people give me cash to give them nothing, and essentially that's what I'm like literally
yeah,
giving you nothing.
yeah. And that's how
And
they see it.
and they don't believe it, right? They're like, you telling me people give you money and then you send them something on over your phone, and on the other side they get it something on their phone, and they pay you for that. And I'm like, yeah. And not only do they pay me for that, but they pay plus a premium to buy it from me. And people just say, no, this is fake. This can't be real because they've never heard of cryptocurrencies. They don't understand how the blockchain works, and they think that I just copy and pasted something and sent them an email and I charged somebody for it, you know.
Can
So
I
that's been my
can
experience.
I interrupt? I think it's important. So I want everybody to watch this. Um, I'm trying to sell on Coinbase right now, and it's not letting me sell. I'm trying to sell my ETH, so I put 5 to sell 5. I push sell. Watch this, guys. Watch what happens. Confirm.
We can't see it. Can you put it up straight?
Oh, it actually let me go through. Never mind. It was giving me an error code 404 for the past 5 minutes, and now that I show the fucking public, it fucking works. Because I have a feeling it's gonna go down since it didn't go up, since the China thing didn't cause it to go up. So I've been selling it slowly. Uh,
Right.
but yeah, I was able to get that sell through
Yeah, did you hear the news on that? The China is now letting withdrawals.
for Bitcoin. Yeah, they have levels
Hmm.
though, tiers. They have tiers.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's 10 Bitcoin daily. as far as Bitcoin. I think they have a Litecoin and some other coins. Speaking of trading, Martin, you trade on an exchange, is that correct?
Yes, I
What
trade.
exchange? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Bittrex and Poloniex.
Okay. And how has your trading been going?
It's pretty much like everybody else trading. It's pretty much coming about even. I mean, you buy in and you gotta wait, and hopefully you get on top of that wave and sell out.
What have you been trading in any particular altcoins?
Um, well, since Ozzy wants to bring up Ethereum, I did just sell some Ethereum so I can invest more into Bitcoin because Ethereum rose, got to 200, and I was like, oh, I'll get me out some of them. Uh, so I was able to pick up almost half a Bitcoin with that.
Now,
So,
when you trade your Bitcoin, are you looking to make more Bitcoin? Or you're looking to make profit, like
oh,
as
this,
in money?
oh no, this is just to get Bitcoin. I'm not trading out to get any kind of fiat. This is just an investment for me, like a savings account.
Right, right. Have you considered like arbitraging? Do you know what arbitrage is?
Yeah, I don't want to do it because it just seems like a hassle to me switching between exchanges just to make a buck.
Yeah.
I'm fine just holding in and just cruising along.
I
Yeah.
I completely agree with him.
Yeah. When I trade, when I did trade on the exchanges, an easy way to do arbitrage is you have to wait for the right moment and the right time because there can be, like recently, like Bitfinex was really high and all the other exchanges was low due to the withdrawal problems. Uh, thing about arbitraging is you have to have money and Bitcoin on each of those different exchanges that you're trying to arbitrage, and you have to have them there at all times. And you're just sitting there waiting for one price to go up higher and one price to go lower. And then as soon as that happened, you literally have to open up two different websites or two different browsers or the same browser, and then at the same time you're selling on this one, but you have to have the money and the cash already on there to do that arbitrage. And then once you run out of cash or Bitcoin on one or the other, then you could probably try to then you have to wait. You have to wait for it to rebalance or going on to a different send your Bitcoin to a different exchange. So it's possible, but you don't make a lot of money. Yeah, literally, I waited like all day, and I'm just trading like point zero one Bitcoin or 0.001 Bitcoin, because if you try to dump or you try to buy, you're causing the one price to go up and the other price to go down, and eventually you're causing it to go even.
Mhm.
And so that's always been the issue. But it's possible if there's like $100 difference, uh, you can do it, and you could probably make maybe a couple $100, but you really literally have to wait for the right situation. You just can't, the $2 or $3, it's not going to make a big difference. But other than that, I do arbitrage on a peer-to-peer level, and that's way easier because what I do is I just pick the highest price out of any exchange. I just pick the highest price, and that's the price I pick, and I do a premium on top of that, and that's really the easiest way to arbitrage is doing it peer-to-peer.
And you
And
know
then
what?
yeah.
You know what? You're still cheaper than ATM, than Coinbase, than a lot of these websites they're all selling 50%, 40%, 30% above the average price. So you're still, James, you're still priced better.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sell my bitcoins up in Canada, and people been telling me that they are literally getting raped at the ATM. And here's the thing: I'm not even in, I'm not actually in Canada, and people still buy. Although I do give a good price because I actually go to Canada and I spend that money that they pay me in, and I'm actually trying to take advantage of the lower or the difference in the currency price because the U.S. dollar is strong right now and the Canadian dollar is kind of weak. So every time I go over there, I get like a 30% discount, and I think that's one of the best use cases for Bitcoin is basically you're able to currency exchange, and at the same time you're bypassing the capital controls in a lot of ways.
Uh, I told you what happened to me at the ATM last week, and you're absolutely right. The only time you can actually, because I found out that those ATMs are not live, so the price has to be manually input. So if you can catch it at a rise at the right time, you can get it pretty close to. Uh, but I mean, like the timing has to be perfect.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but like I said, if you do trade peer to peer, you could just set the price. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
So Martin, you made a video on like the BIP 148. I know that's really a hot topic right now.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Please.
Yeah. Thoughts on that? I mean, really, to me, this is just kind of old news. Everybody just trying to, you know, rustle it back up because we got the August 1st thing that was announced at the consensus. Um, but I mean, segregated witness, we already seen what it can do on Litecoin, even though we all know they don't have the volume compared to Bitcoin, but it's pretty much the same, you know, effects as it being implemented on the Bitcoin network. So I mean, no one has lost any money because I didn't lose any of my Litecoins when the system moved over. You know, there's nothing. Even some of the developers say there's no worries for if you're holding Bitcoin. But I made a show before this one talking about how I think I went onto the UASF.co website, and for me, the gem in there was pretty much just talking about how, in my opinion, about the Bitcoin Unlimited coin, how that's what's going to be destroyed pretty much in my analysis, I guess, because that would be the blockchain that gets orphaned since none of the nodes want that.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, James.
Yes.
Can you made a whole video about the BIP 148, and I actually put it on my video for people to go and watch it, and I linked to it. Can you give us a few minutes and explain to us your thoughts on it, please?
Well, there's a lot of history involved into getting to this BIP 148, and the scaling debate, supposed scaling debate, has been going on since I started back in 2013. It just that subject came up, and people have always known that this is going to the the um, the transactions on the network is going to get backed up because just there's too many people using it. And I thought that was a legitimate reason. But recently, when I started looking into it, it turns out that maybe there's more than meets the eye, and there's been an issue with some of the miners not signaling for segregated witness, and that's specifically the Chinese miners in general, and specifically within the Chinese miners, uh, the manufacturer Bitmain, Jihan Wu, and Roger Ver coming out trying to push a hard fork, and it didn't make any sense because you got segregated witness has been worked on for like 3 years, and all you have to do is signal it, give it a try. If it doesn't work, then you can do a hard fork. But they just want to do a hard fork, and then all of a sudden the news came out that this ASIC boost, and then once that came out, everything kind of made sense. No one's able to prove this per se, but it all makes sense. And then you had Antbleed come out, the news of Antbleed, where they could shut off your miner, and there's like 70% of miners are made by Bitmain, and so it looks like this BIP 148 is a political move by the users to basically force the hand of miners to activate segregated witness before BIP 148 gets activated, because this would basically make all the miners lose all the rewards. It would force them if they didn't activate or move to a SegWit blockchain. Uh, all their hard work would go down the drain. And so that's my take on it. This is it's kind of been a long fight, and the delays and the misdirections. It just didn't make any sense. And so that's my whole thing on this.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's totally politics, and I can't believe these two fuckers can cause so much commotion. They're just two people. You have a question in the comments section. I would like to elaborate on if you want to read it off, or if you want me to read it off. Or
Yeah, I can read it. Is it from Tree?
yeah.
Okay, Tree. Anyone here Dash Lady say Bitcoin and ETH can be double spent, and Dash is the only one that can't be. It was on X22 report. Okay, yeah, go ahead and comment on that.
Okay, so I watched that video. You guys can remember Amanda, the name of the girl. She's paid by Dash. She's an employee of Dash. They paid her to make her YouTube channel and everything about Dash. So she went and she made a video the other day about how you can double spend. And she used an example of a casino. A casino is a bad example because she made it for merchants, and she used the casino as an example. A casino will give you your Bitcoin credits right away without waiting for confirmations because they don't pay out when you ask. So let's say you ask for a payout, they wait 24 hours before they pay you out. So they have time to get confirmations. So they don't mind you gambling with unconfirmed chips because they're protected. That's number one. Number two, no merchant in the world that I know of will send out anything or do anything without confirmations. So double spending, it's been 8 years. I have not heard one fucking complaint about double spending being an issue or they lost money because of double spending. All you have to do is wait for 3 confirmations. Most people say 6. I think 3 is more than enough. But double spending is not an issue. She is a Ethereum hater, especially Ethereum, and a Bitcoin hater. She is paid to say this stuff. So she can go fuck herself. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Martin. Do you have any words? Do you know about this report?
I'm the BS filter. I say it like it is, man.
No, I haven't watched this episode yet. I gotta have to now. But yeah, double spending. No, that's not happening. I mean, if you look at some,
You know who Amanda Johnson is?
yeah, she's the people that keep calling her the robot lady from Dash.
Is that what you're hearing? The robot
Yeah.
lady? Now, why do you think they call her that?
I don't know. I've watched her a couple of times, but I mean,
What
the
is
emotions
your?
don't change too much.
I know you're new, and this is why you're here on the show. What is your perspective on Amanda Johnson? Just be honest, man.
Then she's just a paid head,
She's a paid head. Okay. Yeah. What you're gonna find is there's a lot of people in this space. They are literally just they're for sale. They're paid. Whatever they're talking about, they're for sale. Even people who pitch Bitcoin, some of them are for sale too. Maybe Bitcoin Unlimited or big blocks or go ahead.
I found out about you, James Bond, through her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She had an interview, a paid interview where she paid crypto so he can talk great about Dash and ask her all the right questions and don't put her in a fucking corner like you're supposed to do when you do an interview. I was so disappointed with that interview. But anyway, he mentioned that you were in the room. He said, "Oh, James Bond's in the room." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I know who he is." I bet you do, bitch. And that's how I know who you are. And that's why when you commented on my first or second video, I was like, "Hey man, I know that guy. He's cool."
Yeah, I remember that video. It was crypto interviewed Amanda, and I was in there, and my comment in the chat box.
Don't call it an interview. That was not an interview.
All right, the commercial
Yeah,
was
exactly.
was that that Dash would go to 1,000. Of course, when I said that, crypto would say that to Amanda. But what he didn't say was also preceding my chat was Dash would go to 1,000 if you killed Evan Duffield. So that's the only way Dash would go to 1,000. So and Amanda would take over from there. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's. I mean, listen. I get it. We're all. I mean, everybody's hustling to make money. I get it. I get it. But there's a point. There's a limit to where it's so fucking obvious. Okay, crypto for example. I watch him. I'm subscribed. I like his stuff. He gives out good information sometimes. But that boy is married to Ethereum. He's fucking married, ring and everything. And he makes it too obvious to a point where 99%, no, 90% of his shows are pro Ethereum. 90%. That's ridiculous. You're not a YouTuber anymore. You're a commercial guy for Ethereum now. That's all you are. If that's who you want to be, okay, that's fine. That's cool. But don't make it out you're a crypto guy. You're not a crypto guy. You're an Ethereum shill, and that's it.
now, Martin, have you seen Crypto? You know who Crypto is? He's very
Yeah.
popular.
Omar,
Yeah, Omar. Yeah, I watched him. I left a comment on his stuff. He's the one that pretty much. I was on the fence with Ethereum. That was back when it was single digits. I was like, I don't know. I mean, it could be pretty lucrative. So I was like, watch this stuff a couple dozen times, and I was like, let's just make a little bit. I mean, not like I spent a whole bunch of money into this, but with his enthusiasm, and I did my research about it. I was like, okay, it looks like it's going to make a little bit of money. So
Now,
like
because you watch Crypto, did that lead you into buying Ethereum?
it led me into looking at it more in depth.
Okay, so it looks like some of the commercials do work. I mean, they get you looking into it.
If you can get people to pay Gladia coin, you can get people to buy Ethereum.
Goodness. Oh my gosh. So, I mean, who else have you been watching, Martin? Because this is kind of interesting. I know you got to be watching some other YouTubers out there to get some information on different altcoins when you do your research. Do you have any particular ones that you watch?
Yeah. I definitely watch. Obviously, I watch crypto. I watch the Bitcoin Meister stuff. I mean,
Now, what do you think about Bitcoin Meister? Because you're new, and I know I was on his show. I've been watching Adam for since I started making YouTube videos about Bitcoin, and that's been since 2013.
Yeah, well, that's how I found out who you were, because I was watching all the lives and stuff, and I just see you just smash going on. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, would you
man.
consider me a troll? Now that you talk to me, am I a troll?
No, I'll just say you just poking fun. I mean, that's just what we guys we do. Just
Sometimes you have to troll just so you show the people that you're not buying this shit. That you're not this is bullshit, guys. And this needs to be trolled. I mean, Bitcoin Meister, for example, he goes out, reads a couple articles, and he'll come on his show and he'll mention the articles and tell you, hold on to your Bitcoin and pound that like button. And that's his 15 minutes, which is cool. I mean, he's an adorable little guy. I like him. I watch him. I'm not subscribed, but I watch him. But he has absolutely zero qualifications to be getting paid. I mean, that just fucking eats me from the inside. Every time he asks, now he's raised it. It's at 0.15 for Trezor. Trezor, what the fuck? A Trezor is the easiest thing in the world to, why would they pay you $400 to teach them how to set up a Trezor? I mean, to me, qualification, I'm not qualified. I tell people, I'm willing to consult for free for businesses, for things, I will never say, hey, let me consult for you for Bitcoin. I can't, I'm not qualified to. I'm too young in the game. I haven't studied enough, but I've been in business 20 years. I'll be more than happy to tell you what you're doing wrong in your business. I mean, I think I'm a badass at it too, but I think qualifications are very important, you know, and we're missing that right now with we got thousands of YouTubers out there with links like this long, links for like 300 different things. You know, it's it's commercialized, industrialized more than it is doing the passion that you love to do. And
I have to agree with you, Ozzy, because it's not that hard to learn about Bitcoin or any of these altcoins, as far as using them, I guess, or putting them in your wallet. Matter of fact, Martin, you took that certification, blockchain certification, I guess. Would you now you actually took this test? How hard would it be for most of the YouTubers you've been watching to pass this certification?
Well, if you're new to the game, it's going to be almost impossible. I mean, it's not a hard test, but it's definitely not an easy one. I was glad I studied for a couple of days before I even, try to take it. I mean, because you got to pay your Bitcoin, and once you take tests, and if you don't pass, you lost your Bitcoin. So, I mean, this is like an investment in you.
Okay.
So,
Well, at least you got some certification that you can probably offer your service on your when you do your YouTube channel, at least, right? So, but there's no Bitcoin school, there's no Bitcoin certification, and it's not like a nursing license or anything, or or even a cosmetologist. Do you think there should be something like that before you can even like pitch or take payments, talking about cryptocurrencies?
I think you should have at least some kind of knowledge. It gives people some kind of security that you know what you're talking about instead of just talking garbage. You know, like how you guys are saying about Amanda, from Dash. I mean, this is the new lobbyist. They're paid by these companies, these new cryptocurrencies, to go out and promote. I mean, this is lobbying.
Right, right. And Richie Rich wants to know what's the certification he's talking about or test. Could you tell him what the certification name is, or where you took the test, or from what website? Did we lose Martin?
I think we did.
Okay, that's all right. We'll wait for him to come back.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you're right. Oh,
All
he's
right, I'm
back.
sorry, my bad. I clicked the wrong button. Um, yeah, it's the cryptocurrency consortium. I mean, I have it linked on my YouTube channel now with my ID number and stuff. But it's for the certified Bitcoin professional. They're still working on the Bitcoin expert portion. So,
Okay, and so let me ask you, from you're looking from a new, fresh eyes perspective. What do you think about this whole cryptocurrency space? What is your view? Is it scammy? Is it exciting? I mean, you got fresh eyes, fresh mind.
well, I think it's kind of exciting. This just brings me up to like to me it feels like this is the beginning of the new stock market. So like all of us are like being taken back to like 1920s, when stock market's just fresh and nobody knows what's really going on, and everybody's crazy for putting their life savings into it because everybody thinks it's just going to be a scam and lose everything. So I'm excited about this space.
Wow, wow. Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, that gives us an indication of the market. People are excited. When I came in back in 2013, I was excited too, but I didn't. I got in right before it went up to 1,000, and I was very excited when it came up to 1,000. Then unfortunately, I had to suffer from Mount Gox, and then all the decline, 2 years decline. What would happen, Martin, if Bitcoin went down to, and all your altcoins went down to like near zero? How would you react to that?
Well, I'll just hold on to them because I mean you don't take a hit until you try to sell out. So it eventually rebound, in my opinion about that.
All right, so you would hold. You wouldn't be scared. But then
Mm-mm.
again, you didn't invest too much, did you? You got one or two Bitcoins?
I got 2 Bitcoin and then a couple other coins too. I mean, probably total right now, it just about to break 10 grand.
10? Did you say 10 grand
Yeah.
of bitcoins?
No, no, in total cryptocurrency. Sorry.
Oh, total crypto. Wow, that's still a lot. That's still a lot, though.
That's good.
Like,
But did you make that profit, or is that your personal money that you invested? If you don't mind me asking.
About 50% of it's at least profit. Put in about
Doubled your money in
two.
3, 4 months, 5 months. Awesome. Great work.
was that
Great
was
work.
that in Bitcoin though? Because you said you bought you bought Bitcoin. I'm assuming that would have been your first purchase.
Yeah, a good portion of it was Bitcoin, but then I got into also Litecoin and Ethereum when they were single digits, so they're doing pretty good. So I made
You came in at the right
good profit
time,
on it.
man. Yeah, you came in at the right time. So you're probably gonna hold that shit good. You should get a Tracer, contact Adam, and then pay him
Oh, yeah.
his fees.
I can do my own YouTube video. I can YouTube it myself. I got my own ledger for my
Oh yeah,
stuff.
you're already certified. That's right. You're
I'll
certified.
I'll pay that 1.5 for you.
So you're using the ledger, right? Have you used
Yeah.
paper wallets though?
I looked at the paper wallets. I'll probably be using it to gift my sister on her wedding coming up in September.
I think a lot of paper wallets are overlooked because again, a lot of people are shilling, and they're pushing Trezors, ledgers, keep keys, nanos, and they always have a link to. And it amazes me because paper wallets are free.
Yeah.
And if you really look at some of these wallets, the hardware wallets, they're just, in my opinion, they're just a wallet generator on a hardware. That's all they are for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing with this hardware wallet I would do with my paper wallet, which is just put it in my safe and only check on it when I want to see it.
Right, right. Well, you could just go on the blockchain and just check it. You don't even have to even look
Yeah,
in
on the
what you
block.
say. And how's your tracer working out for you, Ozzy?
I love it, man. I sleep good at night because
What you got?
I have 10 Bitcoin on it, and I just bought 2 more Bitcoin right now as we were speaking, and I'm gonna move them onto the Trezor in about as soon as the show's over. I sold my Ethereum, most of it. I kept a little bit for the long run, and then but I thought it was gonna go up. It's not. So yeah, I got 2 Bitcoin right now on my phone, and then 10 on my Trezor. I'm gonna move those on there right now.
Okay. So now that you spoke about Ethereum, did you hear the news that was it Hobie or OKCoin that is going to have Ethereum is going to offer Ethereum to China?
Right, it's going to be listed on their exchanges.
You got 2 Bitcoins?
That's I just bought them right now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, now I got a total of 12. I think my grandkids are gonna be happy I did that.
Oh yeah. How old are your grandkids?
I don't have any. I don't have any yet. The fuck? I shave my head. I'm not naturally bald. No, actually I am. I'm fucked up bald. But I was bald in my 20s. My late 20s I became bald, but I'm big it now.
So, Ozzy, what do you think about the Chinese exchanges offering Ethereum? You don't think the price is going to go any higher?
If it was going to go higher, bro, it would have been today. Today was its chance. Now, I'm not saying it's not, but to get that explosive rise, that should have happened today. I don't understand why it didn't. I bought in. I had 15 and I bought 15 more, so I was in. I was ready, but but I made my money. I made 1,800 with its rise, so I'm happy. And I got 8 of them for free right now. They're free, and I made some profit, so I'm cool with that. Anytime I can make free coin and make cash, I'm a happy camper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So that's good. I don't know what else to talk about. Let's see what's in the chat here. Anybody have any questions in the chat? Or does anybody, or Ozzy or Martin, do you have any questions?
I have a question regarding the blockchain course he took. Now, did they teach you anything specific regarding the coding of the chain exactly, or was it regarding the a general blockchain?
Well, the test was just mainly about the general blockchain. I didn't go into the coding piece.
Now you say I thought you said it was a course. So it's a course or a test or both?
It's just a certification test. You have to go and do your own research to find out everything you need to know about it. They link to Udemy online courses, and they have plenty of courses on there about it. I went on there and took a whole bunch of them.
So they're testing the homework you've done, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I get it. That's cool. You know, if I guess that's cool if you want to. I watched a lot of like TED Talk and stuff like that about the blockchain. I would love to take that test, but I'm not going to pay somebody 0.03 to tell me whether I'm an idiot or not. I don't think I want to do that. But
I'm telling you, Ozzy, I think all you have to do is literally just use your coins, and then that'd be the test. Can you safely guard your coins? And if that answer is yes,
yeah, if you still have your coin, you pass. If you still have your coins, man, you're good. You're good to go.
You know, did they when you took the test, did they ever teach you anything about finance on the test, like what's money, what's considered currency, Martin?
Yeah, they actually asked a couple questions like, what currency really is. Just, it's pretty much just a value of some item. And they went over a couple other things. Like I said, some of these questions, you got 75 of them coming at you at 20 minutes, and at that time, you just can't. It goes fast. So.
All right, let me ask some. There's some questions here. I guess some of them might be for me. Richie Rich says, "Why don't you like the Trezor? It's superior, secure, and easy to use." Maybe, obviously, Ozzy, that's not for you because you own one.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Martin, since you have a Nano.
Well, I just got the Nano just because it was a little bit cheaper than the Trezor, so that's about it. And it was out of stock when I went to go order one.
Okay, well there you go, Richie Rich. That was the answer. And for me, I'm just too cheap. I just prefer paper wallets because they're free.
They are expensive. I don't know why the Trezor is $100. I mean, I really think it's like a $20, $30. Like the one you just showed, that's like $15, right, bro?
No, it's like $60.
Oh, is it?
I think it costs $15 to make.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe
less than that.
I mean, what is that? The Ledger?
Yeah, the Nano S.
The Nano S.
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay. Yeah, that one's more.
I saw a video, and they make that out of China. And people complain to me about paper wallets, saying, "How do you know someone doesn't have like a master key where they're going to sweep all of that?" Well, how do you know that the Chinese didn't put a master like key into your Nano and all your other hardware, and one day will sweep all your shit too? Like, how do you really know? So there's that question in mind.
I guess if we don't know, if we just do the same thing we do with the banks, we just trust them.
Richie Rich, I would like to comment on that Trezor thing. I read an article yesterday about Trezor. If you have a computer program and a Trezor, some hackers built it, where it keeps trying a combination of 24 words until one matches. But I think Trezor has a built-in thing where you only get so many tries, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got to also have the code. Do you know anything about that, Richie Rich? Do you have one? Give him time to answer.
Right now.
Yeah, give him time to answer.
You probably left to go use the bathroom.
And then Olaf said, "Do you think Satoshi would pass that course?" I thought that was hilarious.
What do you think, Martin? Would Satoshi Nakamoto pass that course?
Well, I hope so.
I'm pretty sure I have a question for you guys. James Bond, we'll start with you. If you were Satoshi Nakamoto, what would you have done with Bitcoin different before?
I don't know. Gee.
Would you have kept the circulation the same? Would you kept the halving the same?
Here's one thing I would. I would have done different before I left if I was Satoshi Nakamoto. I would have fixed the transaction malleability. That way, it wouldn't be an issue at all at this point. And that's
Do you?
probably the only thing I would change. That way, we wouldn't have the scaling bullshit. We could
He
have gone
had
onto Lightning, and then it would have been over. And we would have
he.
already been on the Lightning network.
I mean, I can't believe he didn't know that this was going to become an issue. I'm just, it's beyond me that
Well,
he created this and not knew that it's going to become so popular where it might get
well,
overwhelmed.
nobody knew. No, not even him. I mean, if you think about it, I think he's either dead or he lost his keys. He's once Gavin Andresen went to the CIA and he said bye. I'm never coming back now. See you later. And I don't know what the price of Bitcoin was. It wasn't much, but that those Bitcoins have not been moved at all. So he's either dead or
One
they're
one
dead. They're all dead, or or
one
or they
million
they lost the keys. I mean,
there's 1 million of them, right? 1
I
million
think
Bitcoin.
there's two
Yeah.
million Bitcoins or something. There's a lot,
Wow.
and right now he's a billionaire, and they haven't moved. Matter of fact, if you looked on the first Genesis block, if you go look up that address key or the transaction, and you look at that wallet, that address, people are putting money in there. I don't know if people are is a joke. I've seen like 1, 2, 3 Bitcoins going in there. I don't know if people are getting scammed and they're told to send the Bitcoins to this address, which is basically Satoshi Nakamoto's wallet. But that thing has grown ever since Craig Wright tried to convince the world that he was Satoshi Nakamoto and that he can move those coins from that wallet. And so the reporter sent like, I don't know, 6.4 Bitcoins in there or something. And then ever since then, Bitcoins have been flowing in there from time to time. You should check out that wallet. Go look up Satoshi Nakamoto's like Genesis block.
I am. But Craig Wright, I mean, the minute you look at him, you know he's full of shit. The minute you look at him, just without him talking, you just know this guy's full of shit. Go ahead. Your turn,
Martin.
Martin.
Um, yeah. Sorry, you got me going with the whole Satoshi thing. But yeah, he's got a million Bitcoin sitting over there, and it just keeps growing. He's gonna have an awesome payday whenever he or they cash out. But I don't know. I wouldn't change it too much, but I do understand the scalability issue. He should have been able to foresee that, but hey, he did. The best thing was just give us a blueprint of what can be done, and for us to evolve it.
My answer to that question would be look at Litecoin. Litecoin did everything that he should have did. But here's the amazing part. At some points, we have 300,000 transactions unconfirmed, and the system doesn't crash. It doesn't. It still keeps going. It's amazing. It is amazing. The technology he built, it was awesome. It could take. I mean, all he had to do was like James Bond said, was just make that block take a little bit more than 1 megabyte. Like, I don't understand why he didn't make it 5 or 10 megabytes, and or have it automatically built into the blockchain where it moves to 2 megabytes at the halving. Every halving it goes to 2, or every halving. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he didn't do that. I don't. Maybe he wanted us to go to war, but
maybe. In any case, we're in a war. So, and I think August 1st is the deadline, which I think that's. What do you think is going to happen August 1st, Ozzy? What do you think? Is it going to split, or are the miners going to bow down and join the rest of the network?
Well, my personal opinion is somebody's bluffing, and I think the Yusuf's a bluff. I think they're hard fork, because if Roger Ver owns all these Bitcoin, I don't know why he'd want to risk losing a penny. I mean, if I owned 1,000 Bitcoin, I would not want to risk a fork and it coming down. Jaehan Liu, he's a manufacturer and he's a miner. He shouldn't give two fucks either way. I don't know why he gives a fuck. So I think there's a lot of bluffing involved. Because Jihan Liu has an option to mine any coin in the world he wants. He has the power and the money. Um, August 1st, I just hope we don't see a big dip from here to then. This is my main concern. And a hard fork is going to be, if a hard fork happens, it's going to be a mess, and altcoins will see a rise. And I just hope that doesn't happen, man. I got a lot of money into Bitcoin.
How about you, Martin? What do you think will happen August 4th, 1st? Do you think the network will split? Everyone's bluffing, status quo?
Well, I think just touch on some of these questions all together real quick. I think Satoshi Nakamoto did a pretty good job when it came to this, and maybe he already seen this scaling issue come up and was hoping that the consensus would actually work and evolve the system in the right direction. And like the segregated witness thing, I mean, I'm all for it, but everybody's talking about the block size issue. I mean, this block size issue is not going to be a problem soon. As soon as Lightning Network comes on, the block issue is gone because they're going to undo the signatures that are being put into the block so that it'll take up less space. So I mean, scaling it higher, it just costs more time to mine. And I think he also saw that a pivotal time in Bitcoin's life is going to be when the miner use is going to come to a minimum, because the Lightning Network is going to reduce all the fees for transactions, but we still need miners, so they're going to make a little bit of money on that. And then 12.5 Bitcoin is the reward right now, and it's going to half again here in a couple of years. So I mean, they're just going to be, they see their power on the system right now is slowly slipping.
Yeah, but the cost of the Bitcoin is going up. So even if it's at 6.5, by that time Bitcoin might be at 10 G's. So it'll make up for itself.
True.
They should just add SegWit, add Lightning, and let's see what happens. I think that's the safest fucking play in the world.
Yeah, I agree with you. This whole thing doesn't make any sense because just signal it, let it run. I mean, Litecoin was a great test bed because they had some struggles activating it on Litecoin, and there was, I don't know if there was really an ever serious threat of a user activated soft fork on Litecoin, but eventually segregated witness was on Litecoin, and all these other coins are starting to do it too, and there's got to be something more. I mean, I do think ASIC Boost has a lot to do with it, because if all the coins you could mine, why would you mine Bitcoin? I know it's the only coin that actually has any value outside the exchanges, but you could just mine Litecoin, or you can mine something else and just trade it for Bitcoin. So I think eventually, when August 1st comes, I have coins as well, so I got some skin in the game. And I'm okay with the user-activated software. I'm willing to take that risk because all this shenanigans, it's got to stop somewhere. Users, I firmly believe users are the ones that should decide how this network is run, not specifically the miners. I know miners are users too, but I think they're there just for specifically the Chinese miners. They don't care about monetary policy or this cap of 21 million Bitcoin. They don't care anything about this. They just want the money, and this is a great way for them to get it. And
so let me ask you a question, James. So let's say we do this user activated soft fork, and it does fork into another coin. Now, does the circulation double, or does that mean there's going to be two different coins, and they're going to have two different names and two different prices? Is that what would happen? Well, you want to take that risk, brother?
Well, from what I understand, from what I read, I'm not sure, but I've read the Medium on Luke Dash Jr. that he wrote, and according to him, the user active soft fork has no risk supposedly. I want if it becomes a minor the minor chain that when it splits. So basically, what happens is that one the split would be one for the BIP 148, and the risk is after the split. So depending on which miners go with what fork, obviously I believe China is going to go with the non-SegWit fork, and then other miners will go on to the BIP 148 fork. And after that, you're going to be mining coins, and you're going to get the reward. So that's where you're going to get the divergence in coins. And so supposedly, um, the BIP 148 split will not have any risk in reorganizing. And no matter how long what he calls the legacy chain gets longer, no matter how long that gets. But if the BIP 148 chain gets longer than the legacy chain, then the legacy chain will reorganize back into the BIP 148 chain. And so I think there's a lot more risk on the legacy chain, according to Luke Dash Jr., um, than the BIP 148. And so that's how I understand it. The other thing, the other the only way we can continue on with two Bitcoins, like literally two Bitcoins, which one I would call China coin, and the other one what I would call just regular Bitcoin that the rest of the world pretty much what I would consider the rest of the world would want, a SegWit activated Bitcoin, is that the miners would have to spend money to build up their nodes, and they would just become an island. It would just be a coin within their own area of which they're doing, like specifically China. It's because uh, they'll be their own nodes, and then they would have to sell their coins to somebody, and it would have to be somebody in China, so they're gonna have to get Chinese money for it, which I think it kind of sets them at a disadvantage, because one of the reasons I think Bitcoin or any altcoin or any coins are being used in China is to bypass currency controls. And
Mhm.
the same reason why they're buying like uh, property in Canada or in Vancouver or whatever, or
Here in the
so
States too.
yeah, buying U.S. dollars, whatever. I mean, they're trying to escape the inflation that's going on in
Uh,
China.
Brian made a comment regarding mining empty blocks. This is why I think they're mining extra blocks. That ASIC boost is so fucking strong. And since Bitcoin has a limit about how much you can mine at a time in transactions, I think it's forced to go into empty blocks. What do you think, James?
Well, that's what it's designed to do on the ASIC boost, right? That's one of the symptoms of using covert ASIC boost, is that it mines empty blocks supposedly.
Yeah,
Now,
but you don't get nothing out of that, right?
I don't know. A block is a block. I think they get a reward, don't they?
For an empty block. So when that block gets full, do they get rewarded twice?
It doesn't get full, from what I understand. It's just an empty block on the blockchain.
But so it'll
They
stay
just
empty.
mine an empty. They just make. I mean, if you look at Litecoin's blockchain, there's a whole bunch of empty blocks.
Really?
Yeah, there's a whole. You should look at some of these networks on other altcoins. They're practically empty.
So
I mean, I don't understand why some of these coins have any value, because there's nothing going on in them.
because nobody uses them other than trading. They're not being used other than trading.
Yeah, they're just on exchanges
Yeah,
being bought and sold back.
we were talking about that earlier. The effect of ICOs, of all these ICOs, is going to be devastating, and that's what's going to burst the bubble when there's just so many and nobody. I mean, you got to understand. Zcash. Look, the only ones used on the dark web are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Zcash, and Litecoin. These four on the deep web, and the deep web is the king of spending crypto. So, and peer to peer in general is usually 99% Bitcoin, and then 1% is Ethereum and Litecoin. Nobody uses Monero. Monero's deep web only. I've a lot of advertisements. They don't even take Dash or Ethereum. They'll just take Bitcoin, and some will take Litecoin and Bitcoin. So that means there's another 700 that are just for trading. That's it, which has no value. No value. The value in coin is strictly what it's if it's used or not.
Yes, yes, I agree. And I have a question for Brian. Well, first of all, let me say that Richie Rich did say that you still get the reward for mining an empty block.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And so once it's on the blockchain, even if it's empty, they still get the reward.
Doesn't
From
that
what I
cause? Isn't that causing more transactions to stay behind if blocks are getting mined empty?
Yeah, yeah. That's what doesn't make sense.
Well, how
And
about you fucking stop doing that, so we can not need nothing and just keep going,
oh god,
motherfucker,
I've been
motherfucker.
watching the blockchain on block trades, and yeah, I see empty blocks, and most of them are ample. And then there's a few unknowns. I've seen one time for slush. Now, I've heard arguments that the reason why miners make empty blocks is that they can, once they mine a block, they want to go on to working on the next block. They don't want to wait to confirm the blocks for everyone else because that would put them behind. So that's a, a reason, from what I heard, of mining an empty block. But I've seen so many empty blocks from Ampool,
Man, that's
and the rumors
ridiculous.
are it's caused by
So
AC
they're
boost.
so they're causing the problem and making the war. Man, these
Yep,
guys
all
are
these
like
help.
United States government. They're like the United States government. Here, let's go cause a problem over there so we can go and solve it.
Right.
Yeah,
So my question for
Rob,
Martin is, would you ever consider trading peer to peer?
Would I
Martin, are
ever
you there?
consider? Yeah. Well, yeah. If I had the cash on me, that'd be
Well, I'm,
nice.
I'm saying, would you sell Bitcoin to somebody else with whatever the current price plus premium? Because the way I make money on trading peer to peer is I sell my Bitcoin on a plus a premium, and it's even better when the prices are going up, and then I make the difference on that premium that I struck a price at, and I buy some Bitcoins at spot price, and that's how I make my gain in Bitcoin. I take the extra money and I buy more Bitcoin, and I just keep repeating that process because there's a real world physical demand for Bitcoin where people are willing to pay a premium. Some places they're like 10, 20 percent above spot price, and that's how I've been able to generate my Bitcoins. That's why I literally have no risk on this hard fork stuff. If it goes down the drain, then I just wasted 3 years of my life gaining Bitcoin. But other than that, I think this is I believe this is worth fighting for because the whole fork thing and this whole scaling debate, I think it's all BS, and it has to stop somewhere at some time. I mean, this network belongs, in my opinion, belongs to the users and doesn't belong to like the miners or the business people.
agreed.
Um, and the money comes from the users. That's the
Mhm.
crazy part, and that's the whole point.
Yeah,
The money doesn't come from China, or it doesn't come from a business. Although they help, they invest in their whatever marketing and in their offices and stuff. But really, the money comes from everybody who uses it. So that's that's
and
why
it's
I,
being
that's what I'm
and it's
into.
being and it's being spread evenly. It's being spread evenly. Like everybody's making money. It's just these fucking greedy. Somebody made a comment earlier that Roger Ver is a government agent. Roger Ver used to be a politician, and you cannot become a politician unless you're sponsored by someone, unless someone is your daddy. So for him not to be a government agent is less likely than him being a government agent.
Could you say that again? Is he a government agent or not a government agent?
Oh, he's more okay. The chances of him being a government agent are more than him not being one because he used to be a
Okay.
politician. Once you're a politician, you don't just get away from it. It's like joining the fucking mafia. You can't just get out. The only time you're let out is to go do something for the people that got you into it in the first place.
Well, I would joke around in the chat that Roger Ver was offered his U.S. citizenship by the CIA to do this, and then he could come back to the U.S. I'm sure he's sick and tired of eating sushi out there in Japan. So
I don't know, man. I love sushi. I'm a sushi lover myself, but anyway, today's show is very important because I understood. I mean, I woke up to a lot of things. The empty block issue has to be solved first thing. That's the number one thing I believe that should be solved is the empty block issue. What the fuck are they doing in empty blocks? That's none of their fucking business. How do they even get into them? How do you even? I have miners. I don't know how to fucking get into an empty block.
Yeah,
How do you?
it's not like you program your miners to make empty blocks, right?
Exactly. So they are doing shit they're not supposed to be. This has got to stop. Empty blocks. What the fuck? No
Right,
wonder it's
right.
all clogged. The system, like what's her name? Like Yellow Forever said. She said it's clogging up the network, and it is, and that's why there's such a. If empty block stays empty, that means there's a few thousand transactions just got skipped. They just got skipped. That's why there's 200,000 always behind.
They're not profitable. I mean, that's because people are just slowing down their transaction by lowering their fee. So the miners are just like, skip to the next one to make more money.
Insane. Insane.
Well, does anybody in the chat have any more questions? We're almost up to the hour point, so we're almost at the end of the show. Unless anybody have any questions or anything, Martin, do you have any questions for Ozzy and me? Because you know definitely ask, since you're new, definitely ask anything that you want to. Matter of fact, go ahead, Martin, ask me and Ozzy a question each that you want to know.
I mean, the question I got for you is about the peer-to-peer stuff. I mean, I've already listened to you about it. Sometimes you meet some unusual characters. But I mean, is it always in like public spaces, or do you go and like, you know, just do it online, or what do you got? What do you do?
Well, see, the same concerns I had, James. That's an important part of it. Go ahead. Good question, bro.
I'll tell you how I got started through the peer-to-peer trading, and I'll just tell you the story. I started by using local bitcoins. Do you know about that site, localbitcoins.com?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's basically it's peer-to-peer trading, but it's not quite peer-to-peer trading because you have to use their site, and their site is centralized. So you have their bitcoins on their servers, and they control it. So it's not like you meeting someone and you're taking your
Yeah, private
smartphone and you're
stash.
scanning. So that's a little different, but it does help because they have an escrow service and they have a support. Now, it's not a very good support, and most likely you'll become a target because you're the new guy, and people always try to target the new guy because you'll have no feedback. So you could do like in-person trading. The other option that I would recommend is, and this is only if you want to, but you could use your bank to trade. So people use cash deposits to trade, but the problem is that your bank will probably close your account. There's a lot of fraud involved because once you give out your banking information, there's something called man in the middle attack. Basically, there's three people involved: you, the scammer, and the innocent victim. And the scammer gets the innocent victim to put cash into your account, and then the scammer contacts you on local Bitcoin saying, "Hey, I made a cash deposit. Give me my Bitcoin." And then you release the Bitcoin, and then the innocent victim comes back to the bank the day after saying, "Hey, I just made deposit into this guy's bank account because I was told I bought a car. What's going on?" And then that it causes a whole situation where you may actually lose your money. You depends, you know, how long the cash has been in there, but you may eventually lose your bank account, and that's the issue that I've always had over there, and the support is mediocre because they service the entire globe. If you go on their website, they're all over the place, and it's basically 4 or 5 people in Helsinki, you know, managing it. So they're not going to be able to do this. And then on top of that, if for any reason someone complains about you, they will just freeze your account and then uh, demand like your ID and everything. And if they don't want to, they don't have to unfreeze your account. They can just lock your bitcoins forever, and you're screwed. And so
Wow.
Yeah, and that's happened to some people. They've done that to me, and then they've done that to me 3 times, and they've said, "Hey, give us your information." Most likely, what's happened is that the bitcoins, they were probably used for something that somebody else did, and then when they traced it back to local bitcoins, and then maybe some law enforcement gave a subpoena saying, "We want to know who this guy is, who sold this bitcoin," whatever reason. Anyways, I never lost my bitcoin that way. But my last interaction with local Bitcoin was that I was told not to use their site ever. And then they unfroze my Bitcoin, and I never went back after that. I said, screw this. This is a centralized exchange. So that's the withdrawal with that. The other option is you can use what is that, a Backpage. You can use Craigslist.
You can get a hooker while you're there.
Yeah, you can get a hooker while you're there. You can always meet people, at local Bitcoin meetups. There's also a wallet called Mycelium, and they have a trading thing that you can advertise there. But most importantly, if you do the face-to-face transaction, local Bitcoins, you can meet a lot of people that way too.
Craigslist is another option too, no? Or is that not
Craigslist. Did I not say? I
No.
thought I said
Yeah, he
Craigslist.
said.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Craigslist. So if you do those options, then it's highly recommended that you just meet the person face to face. And if you're in an area where there's no other traders of Bitcoin, you've got a monopoly.
Right.
It'll probably be very slow in the beginning, but you got to consider, like, a lot of people don't know what Bitcoin is, and if you put yourself out there, you got to be smart. Always accept cash, and then don't go in the middle of the night. I would recommend Starbucks or McDonald's, someplace that has Wi-Fi and that's public, or maybe even a mall. Sometimes malls have Wi-Fi, but I would stay away from back alleys and meeting people in their cars and stuff like that. But there are some risks. But you're a dude. You're in Indiana. You can open carry, I believe. Can you open carry in Indiana?
I guess so. Not too.
I think you can. I'm pretty sure because I travel
as long
through
as it's not
Indiana,
concealed, yeah.
and I always take my gun over there. I take my gun everywhere. But I mean, there's no limit to what you can do. I mean, it just depends on how many Bitcoins you want to sell. If you got $1 million worth of Bitcoin and that person really has $1 million in cash, you can sell that amount. I mean, it's no different than selling your own car, selling your own house, selling, having a garage sale for the most part. So it's Bitcoin's considered as property for the most part. But if you want to pay taxes, you probably want to keep track of it. But what I do is I just buy right back into Bitcoin, and so I don't really realize any money. And so I'm just stacking my Bitcoin until I die, and I plan to take my Bitcoin to the grave with me.
You're gonna leave them for your grandkids that you don't have yet.
Yeah, that's it. My great grandkids too.
Is there any questions on the feed?
Oh, did you have any questions for Ozzy?
Yeah, go ahead, man. But let me give you a little background on me, Martin. I'm a business owner. I own 6 different companies, 15 years now, and I got into Bitcoin about a year ago, and I started buying about 6 months ago, and I started mining for Litecoin about 3 months ago. I own an insurance company, a dealership, and a finance company. Go ahead, shoot.
Well, I guess I do a little bit of mining on myself, but not a lot. I just use 2 SP10s. I mean, they're pretty inefficient, but
What do you mine? What are those?
they're mining Bitcoin.
How many? What's the speed on them?
Right now they're about 1.2 terahash piece. I mean, so it's not like I'm making a lot of profit.
So you got
just
2.
using.
Well, if you got 2 terahash, as long as they cover the electricity, you're good. It's a fun thing to do. I mean, really, for me, it's a hobby. I love going in there, smoking a cigarette, fucking around, dusting them off, shit like that. I'm a miner, yay. But it ended up to be profitable because Litecoin spiked as soon as I put it together and had it going. So, but the difficulty as it's going up, my profit's going down because my electric bill went up $2,000 a month. So it really affected my electric bill. Yeah, but again, I'm making about between 6,000 to 7,000 a month. So it's working out for me. I've already made my money back that they cost me. So when I sell them, that's all profit also. But if you're doing 2 terahash and it's not affecting your electric bill, that's cool. Let it, stack up. It's fun.
All right. If we don't have any more questions or anything else, no subject, we'll probably have to end this. Brian, Martin, hold on here. Let me see here. It's Martin Wilkinson, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell everybody where they can find you. I already have a link down in the notes section to your channel, but tell them where they can find you.
All right. You can find me on YouTube over there at my name, so Martin Wilkinson. I don't have any, special name for my show. I'm just keep evolving my show, changing it up. I was talking about some of the market stuff in the beginning, and then talking about some other information and stuff. But I think I want to move out of that stuff and just bring everybody information by just doing research about all these coins and stuff. But I'm also on Steam It. That's using one of my old handles from when I was a kid.
Hold on. You said you're on Steam It, okay?
Yeah.
What do you think about Steam It, man? We got to talk about that.
There goes another hour.
I'm exactly what Oz says about it. I put a lot of time and effort into my shows and do a lot of research and stuff, and then I posted on there just to reshoot it out after I post on YouTube. But there's a lot of people on that just it seems like they're just garbage, and they make a ton of money, compared to people that just sit here and do the actual research and work for everybody.
Make 3 cents.
People. Yeah,
make 3 cents. Yeah, it's a pile of shit.
Ozzy said that every time he goes in there, there's always like a link to buy Steam. Is that your same situation? You have the same experience?
As soon as you go into the wallet area, that's what's highlighted immediately. Nice bright green button.
Right in your face. Buy Steam.
I mean, do you think people are pumping the Steam platform to get people in and then to try to get like users, the unwitting users, to buy Steam?
Yeah, like this is one of the things that I probably say that I broke even on it because I didn't pay a lot of money. When I do some of these altcoins, I only pay like $20, $50 into them, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of money. But how they do it is just kind of bullshit. How you can throw some money in it, speculate on making profits, and then transfer your Steam over there, and then they lock it up. But then it takes you almost a year and a half to get any good amount of that Steam unless you got thousands on there. But I just think it's tricking people to put their Steam on the network to lock it up to boost the price, just so that these people that were in there first, they get the free promotions from Steam website benefit, while everybody else is pretty much eats a dick.
Yeah. I feel the same way too, but a lot of people seem to disagree with me on that. So, okay, I'm sorry about that. You brought up Steam, and that was kind of something that I kind of have a problem with, and I did a video on that. But where else can they find you? Continue on, please.
No, it's just those two: YouTube channel on Martin Wilkinson, and then just on the Steam, and it's on my handle called Dark War Shadow. It's just I've had that for a long time. Okay.
All right. Excellent. And Ozzy, go ahead and just tell them. Everybody knows who you are, but go ahead and tell them anyway.
I'm on my YouTube channel is linked below, and then from there you can go to my Facebook, you can go to my Twitter, you can go to my bullshit Steam It, and well, I made a whole $1.50 now. I've been on there 3 weeks. I'm thinking about selling my company now and just doing Steam It. It was worth a shot, but please, for the love of God, do not put a penny in there. Not a fucking penny. Thank you guys so much for watching and being part of this. And thank you, James, for inviting me every time. I love this. That's it, man.
All right. Thank you guys for being on the show. And this concludes this episode. And of course, I am James Bond. People consider me a troll, but I think I'm just trying to talk sense into people, but who knows? Anyways, this concludes this episode. All right, bye.
See you.